Every photo of this Australian town develops blank, but only every 17 years. The last photographer who tried lost 3 days of memory and gained a single image he swears he never took. His name was Daniel. He was 34 years old, a landscape photographer from Melbourne who had spent 11 years chasing the perfect horizon. Salt flats in Western Australia were among his subjects. Storm fronts rolling across the Nullarbor were another. He had never lost a single shot until he drove into Woomera. Woomera sits in the South Australian outback, roughly 450 kilometres north of Adelaide. It was built in the late 1940s as a testing site. Long-range weapons, rockets. The kind of town that exists because someone in a government office drew a line on a map and decided the desert was empty enough to hold it. Daniel arrived on a Tuesday in August of 2024. He had read about Woomera in a photography forum. Someone mentioned the light, the way the desert floor held color at dusk. He wanted that light. He checked into a small motor lodge on the main road. The woman behind the counter handed him a key and pointed down a corridor. Then she paused. She looked at the camera bag on his shoulder and said something he would later repeat to 3 different people. "You won't get much this week." He asked what she meant. She shook her head and went back to her ledger. He thought nothing of it. The next morning he walked into the town centre. The sky was pale blue. The buildings were low and angular, built from concrete and brick, the kind of architecture that looks like it was designed to survive an explosion. He raised his camera, a digital mirrorless body. Top of the line, he framed a shot of the main street, pressed the shutter, and checked the screen. Black, not dark, not underexposed, pure black, as if the sensor had recorded nothing at all. He checked the lens cap, off. He checked the settings, correct. He pointed the camera at his own hand and pressed the shutter. The screen showed his fingers, the dirt under his nails, the scuff on his wristwatch. Perfect exposure. He pointed it at the street again, black. He tried 14 more shots that morning. Different angles, different buildings, different distances. Every single one came back black. The camera worked. The sensor worked. His hand worked. The sky worked if he tilted the lens high enough to exclude the buildings. But the town itself refused to be recorded. Here is where the story shifts from strange to something harder to explain. Daniel was not the first. He learned this over the next 2 days, talking to locals in short, careful conversations. A woman who ran the post office told him the same thing happened in 2007. A retired engineer mentioned 1990. He said every camera in town had failed for 2 straight weeks. Film, digital, phone cameras. It did not matter. One man told Daniel that the pattern followed the lunar cycle, a rare alignment. Something about the moon's orbit and the mineral content in the ground. He said it like he was reciting a weather forecast. No drama, no fear. Just a fact of life in a place most Australians never visit. Daniel kept shooting. He switched to film, a 35mm body he carried as a backup. He loaded a fresh roll and spent an entire afternoon photographing buildings, streets, the old rocket display near the town entrance. He drove the roll to a processing center in a nearby settlement and waited. Every frame was black, not fogged, not damaged, properly developed, properly advanced. The chemistry had worked. The shutter had fired, but no image had landed on the emulsion. It was as if the light had left the scene, traveled through the glass, and arrived at the film with nothing to say. On the 4th day, Daniel woke up in his motel room with no memory of the previous 3 days. His camera sat on the bedside table. His phone was charging. His rental car was parked outside. Nothing was disturbed. His journal had no entries for the missing days. His GPS showed no routes driven. His credit card showed no transactions, but the camera held one new image, a single photograph. It showed a structure, low, wide, built from pale stone, a doorway with no door, a corridor leading into darkness. The light inside the corridor was faint and umber, like the last glow of a sunset filtered through dust. Daniel did not recognize it. He had never seen it before. He did not remember taking the photograph. He showed it to locals. He showed it to the woman at the motor lodge. He showed it to the retired engineer. None of them recognized the building. One said it looked older than anything in Woomera. Another said it looked like it was built into the ground, not on top of it. A third person, an older woman who had lived in Woomera for over 40 years, looked at the image for a long time. Then she said something Daniel wrote down word for word. That ground was never meant to hold anything permanent. He asked what she meant. She said the town was built on land the traditional owners had warned people about. Not cursed, not haunted. Just wrong. Ground that did not want to be built on. Ground that pushed back in ways you could not see, only feel. She said the cameras were not breaking. The land was refusing to be remembered. Daniel left Woomera the next morning. He drove south without stopping. He never published the photograph. He never returned. The 2-week window closed. Cameras in Woomera worked again. Tourists came and took pictures and posted them online. Everything looked normal. The buildings stood. The streets were quiet. The desert light did what desert light does. But every 17 years, the cycle returns. The moon shifts. The ground answers. And every lens pointed at that town records nothing but black. Search your camera roll for a gap on a day you swear you took photos and drop the date in the comments.